So, Michelle, thanks for being with us today. This is really cool. And, my clients are dealing with what everybody's dealing with right now. And that is it a good time to buy? Is it the wrong time to buy? This housing market's crazy. What do we do in this market? I want to get in. What do I have? All these great questions are coming up. And I love having the relationship with you. I love having you here so that I can call. Hey, Michelle, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? What's your opinion? So I guess I should say, look, I'm recording this video so that we give you an opportunity to share with my friends and family and clients the helps, tips, and tricks from the real estate perspective. So you're a professional real estate agent, not just an agent, you're a realtor, and you're going to draw that distinction for us. You just educated me on that the other day.
Yes.
But before you answer all these plethora of questions I have for you, just give them a 2 minute or 1 minute. Who is Michelle? And tell us a little bit about yourself on a personal level, then we'll get into the business.
Got it. Well, first and foremost, thank you, Peter, for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit about me and my business. And gosh, who am I? Well, who I am is a married woman. I have a fur baby. His name is Bo. If you literally hashtag my boy Bo, Beau, you'll see all kinds of pictures of him on Facebook. I love the social media platform. It is a great way. I felt a great way to get connected, to be connected, stay connected with family, friends, colleagues. So you'll see me a lot on Facebook, and you see my hashtag beside my name. That is how you get a hold of me. I am a past president of a not-for-profit here in Houston. I volunteer at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. I am just starting to become a part of the Alzheimer's Association. Gosh, what else? All kinds of other stuff. I'm always doing all kinds of things.
I love it. So I'm sure people will check out Bo and have some fun there. But thank you for sharing that about yourself. Now, let's get into some of the nitty gritty. People want to know what's up with this market. So just so everybody knows, this is a free flowing conversation. It is not scripted. I'm not going to edit it. We're just going to go ahead and kind of clip off the front and the back end so that it's not extended too long here, but then just have a free flow conversation here. So what's up with this market, Michelle? So first of all, should we get into this market now? Should we wait? What's your opinion?
No, get in, jump in, both feet. So the reason why I say that, especially if you're possibly looking at selling your home, the beauty of the market right now is we are stabilizing. It has been crazy. Several months ago, you heard $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 over asking. We're not seeing that. Trust me, it's still out there. Some realtors are still telling their clients to do that. I've not once through this whole process have done that. I believe in sustainable home ownership, and walking in with negative equity does not always work, especially with first-time home buyers. So we are stabilizing. We are still in a seller's market. So that means there are more buyers than there are homes available, the inventory that's out there. And we are seeing the median average price home, of course, has gone up. We're closer to the 325s just because of the market, and the home prices have gone up across the board. So we're not going to see it go down anytime soon.
So you're saying it's still a good time to get in. Are you saying this for a short-term, medium-term, long-term hold? Definitely time to sell. I understand that.
Definitely time. Yes, definitely time to sell. And and the buyers, as I was saying, being a part of sustainable home ownership it's still very much a factor in this market for me. And going again, just reiterating, it's just not good to go into a property with negative equity. And if you have to look at it long term. Right? You have to build that equity back up. So if you are looking to buy, don't be afraid. Get your pre-approval letter. Go out there and take a look at homes. It's an emotional process. You'll look at a lot of them. You may submit a lot of contracts. It's okay. There's nothing wrong, and the house is there for you. You just have to be patient.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. As a financial advisor, I tell my clients that all the time. I have a client asked me the other day, should I buy a home? I said, as long as you'll tell me you're going to hold it for a while. I said, now he's a single guy. And I said, look, I mean, sure, if you want to go into a home. I love real estate. I think real estate's an awesome asset class. I said, however, you have to be willing to ride out the downside. And that comes with any asset class out there, by the way. If the market corrects,
Mhm.
you need to be able to ride out that correction, and that's all I asked for. And he got it. He understood. I said, now if you find a new girlfriend or wife who wants another home, and the market's on the downside, you're going to need to have a decent conversation about riding out that market. He goes, don't worry, I will. We won't sell but buy high and sell low. I said, thank you. I appreciate that. So I appreciate you saying that, Michelle. Let's jump back here real quick. Going into a home now, what are some of the things you need to see from a buyer who comes to you? What's the top 5 items they need to have in order for when they come to you?
Number one is a pre-approval letter.
Okay.
We want them because the number one is the pre-approval. I've personally experienced it, and I do choose not to do that again. I had someone come through an open house, and it was a potential client, and she called me. We had a great conversation. We talked a lot, asked a lot of questions. However, she was not pre-approved. And she wanted to see this one house that was right around the corner from us. I live in the Heights area. So I said, you know what, I'll meet you there, no problem. So we go look at it. She falls in love. She comes back, she gets a pre-approval. She goes to get her pre-approval, and she is not approved for that price of the home. And it was too different to negotiate.
Mm.
So she wasn't really happy, right? It was kind of sad. And, so I don't want to do that again. So I always say, get a pre-approval letter, have an area of town. Number two, have an area of town that you are looking at. Do you want a master plan community? Is your commute to and from work more important? Trust me, we have individuals that work downtown and live in Katy, and they don't mind that hour and a half drive, because when they get home and on the weekends, they are out of town, if you will, right? They're in the suburbs. So know your area, really look at, have an idea of, do you want a 2-story? Do you want a 1-story? Do you want a pool? Do you want an outdoor kitchen? And really, that's it. I mean, there's really not a top 5. We want to get your pre-approval letter. We want to know what area of town, what's really important to you. And then also, what is that dream? What does it look like? What are you envisioning?
So what I'm hearing is be clear about what you're looking for, which helps you identify the properties as they become available on the marketplace. I get that 100%. Excuse me, this is how live we are. My allergy kicking in here. I apologize.
No,
So,
you're good. And I did mention, now we can do an auto email. Our system allows us to ask all those wonderful questions. We set up an auto email. It gives you an initial search of properties. And then after that, every time a brand new property comes on the market that meets the criteria that we have set up for yourself, it'll automatically send them an email, so they know just as quickly as I do when a brand new home is on the market. That's really important today.
so in other words, have it be prepared to move quickly. So have your ducks in an order in advance. The lending being the biggest one,
Right.
and then when something shows up, be prepared to move quickly. There's no time to just dally, from what I understand.
That is correct. That is correct.
Now, something you had educated me on the other day, and I think it's important for consumers to know, you know, what's the difference? And I'll just say it this way. Give us the brief difference, real estate agent versus realtor. I never understood the difference until you educated me the other day. So educate the rest of us, please.
You got it. There is a difference between a real estate agent and a realtor. A realtor is a member of the Houston Association of Realtors Association, right? We are members. We have a level of integrity and ethics that we have to follow. Now, not saying that real estate agents don't have integrity or ethics, they do. However, they're just not held to a certain standard. So if they did something that was really, what our association would consider unethical, there's no one to hold them accountable. So you want a realtor, we are required to have continuing education. Again, we are held to a higher standard than someone that is a real estate agent.
Excellent. Now, just occurred to me also, draw a little distinction between you and marketplace. Now, let's be very honest and fair. There's a lot of realtors and real estate agents, now that I know the distinction, on the marketplace here today. Lots of people for the consumer to choose. Lots of really good people out there, not to disparage anybody. But just go ahead and give us a little bit of why should they work with you? And I'll say this in advance, so you don't have to say it. Personality needs to be a fit. All right. So if they're a jerk, you can say no, I don't want to work with you. And if they don't like your personality as well, I mean, not everybody gets along. Fine, move on to another agent. But what makes you unique?
Well, what makes me unique, not only do I have 20 years in the title industry, I've been, working within the real estate market for over 20 years. I became a realtor in April of 2019. However, I know the earnest money contract, the process like the back of my hand. I can explain it in my sleep from all of my years in the title industry. I'm a collaborative realtor as well. I honor who you are in a transaction. I'm not the realtor that's going to come in, point fingers and say, this is what we're doing, this is how we're going to do it. And oh, here's sign here, by the way, and we're going to list your house for X. It's not how it works. Not for me. This is your house. You've lived in this house for 10, 15 years. You are the expert on your house. I'm the expert in the real estate market. And together through our collaboration and partnership is where we're going to discover and get the best offers for you, right? So because of my background in 20 years, I know how to read an earnest money contract. I know how to explain it. I know how to read a title commitment. I know what's needed in the process and when it's needed. So I do know more than the average Jane Joe realtor that is in Harris County.
Very good. Yeah, it's fair, very fair to say. Of all the people, all the agents and realtors that I've worked with or talked to over the last year or two over here, your level of expertise is pretty high up there, and I appreciate that about you. We don't have a lot more time here. We want to keep this short for people to check out. So we know check out the area you want to live in, get that pre-approval. You got 20 years behind you doing the title business, so you understand contracts, you understand the business, find a good personality fit. And now, one other thing that I'd like you to share with everybody, again, you blew my mind when you shared this the other day. What's up with this? I think you called it iBuyer, and what's up with that? Because if I'm selling my home, I'm getting a phone call saying, "Hey, I can sell your home for 25 grand more than somebody else told you can sell it." I'm going to take that deal. So walk me through this.
So it's really, iBuyers, there are many of them out there in within our market. They're calling in saying, hey, your house, we'll buy it for 325,000. And you go, gosh, I just spoke to my realtor and she's going to list it for 310. Like, well, of course. Sure, 325. And they go, great. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and submit it. We're going to go into contract. We're going to have the home inspected. Oh, by the way, we do have a service fee, and the service fees can be anywhere from 6 to 9%, right? You don't have to have a realtor. Don't worry about a realtor. We're going to walk you through this whole process, right? We don't have any fees. We just have a 6 or 9% service fee. When you work with a realtor, it's 6% norm, right? That's the normal commission is 6%, 3 to the listing, 3 to the buyer's agent. iBuyers, oh, we'll handle everything. They come in, they do an inspection. Next thing you know, they're taking $15,000 off that offer price because of all the repairs that are needed. And again, and they're charging you 9%, right? Anywhere from 6 to 9% fee. So majority of the individuals that utilize an iBuyer, they normally walk away with 80 to 85% value of their home.
Interesting. That's pretty substantial. That's very substantial.
Yes.
And if I'm hearing you correctly and doing the math in my head correctly, 6% versus 9%, or even if it's still 6% and 6%, you're taking a hit to this work that has to be done in the house. I understand no inspection or they do an inspection, but their own quasi or their own way of doing inspection. And correct me if I'm wrong, but they can't react to the inspection. They can't, counteract and say, well, I don't want this fixed. I don't want that fixed. It's we've inspected. This is what we're going to do. You signed the agreement. It's 15 grand. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So versus if we're going to pay 6% to agents, at least we have an ability to say something. Oh, wait a minute. They did the inspection. They found this, laundry list of items. Okay, let's negotiate on these items. We'll fix this. We'll fix this. We'll give you an allowance for this. We'll do that. the shag carpet from 1970. We understand. We'll just give you the allowance for it. I mean, it sounds like a more in control when you're working directly with the realtors. Is that right way to
Yeah,
say it, or
iBuyers, look, you, if you are an individual, if you have a property that you don't want to do anything with, you don't want to deal with it, I mean, if you literally don't care about getting the max value for your home, go with an iBuyer. I mean, it's easy. You set your closing date, just get ready for them to start knocking that price down, that they call you and tell you how fabulous your property is and how much they're going to give it over what the average market is, right? You just have to really look at what they're doing. I mean, this is all the things that we're hearing. Google them, 6 to 9%. It's
that's a lot of
crazy.
money? A lot
It's
of
a
money.
lot of money. It's a
Well,
lot of
Michelle, tell you what, I'm trying to keep this under 10, 15 minutes here so
money.
people at least stay somewhat tuned to it. And you've given some great information. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, they're in the Houston area. I know you'll work the home market.
Yep.
How do they reach you?
The best way to get a hold of me is to call my cellular, 713-256-5465. You can, on all social media platforms, search RELTR, the number 4 and the letter U, because I always say, because I'm a realtor for you. However, that's my hashtag. That's my license plate. That is my branding. So my email is michelle@realtorforyou.com. So easy to remember, just hashtag realtor for you.
And Michelle, thank you so very much for taking this time, having this chat with us today. You've absolutely educated me, which is why I wanted to have you on here. Folks, I'm Peter Catalano, Catalano Financial. The reason I love working with real estate investors is they have an asset class that works. It has a good history of beating inflation. There's a lot of good value in your asset class being in real estate, and don't be afraid to give me a call as a financial advisor to help you make sure that that asset class is producing the right plan for you. Folks, I'm Peter Catalano. Thank you, Michelle. We're out of here.
Take
Have a
care.
good day,
Thank
folks.
you. You too.